Good morning, guys. My name is Barrister Peter Akpo. Akpo is spelled AKPU. Yeah, the name is funny, right? I know. In today's episode of what you need to know about a business name and a company, I shall be taking you guys on the topic annual returns. But before I proceed to discuss about what annual returns is, with respect to a business name, a registered business name, and a company registered in Nigeria, whether it's a private company limited by shares or a public company limited by shares. Before I proceed, I would like you guys to sit back, breathe, and relax as we proceed on the journey. Yes. I would like every one of you to pause and ponder on this quote by Uhuru Kenyatta, a former president of the Republic of Kenya. Uhuru Kenyatta said, "If you really love your children, then get a business, not a job." Emphasis on not a job. Because when you die, your children cannot inherit your job, but they can definitely inherit your business. In fact, if you die on the job today, your boss will replace you before your burial. If your family live in the company's house or in quarters, they will kick you out. They will kick your children out before they can say Jack Robinson. So when you close from work, whether you are working at the Federal Ministry of Mines and Steel, Federal Ministry of Works, Federal Ministry of FCT, or you are working in state civil service, or in the police, in the military, or you are working in Navy, or you are working in Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs. When you close from work, don't go and watch television. Go home and think of a business idea. For that is the only legacy you will leave for your children and children. Yes. Back to my topic. In today's episode of what you need to know about a business name and a company, like I said earlier on, our topic today is annual returns. Then, what is annual returns? Is a business name required to pay annual returns by the Companies and Allied Matters Act, or is it only a registered company that can pay annual returns? What are the disadvantages of not paying annual returns? And what are those regulatory challenges or sanctions that a company who fails to pay annual returns will face? These questions are some of the things I will answer in the course of this video. Okay. Annual returns is like a dues that a business name or a company pay to the Corporate Affairs Commission, herein refers to as the commission, to actually show that they are still in business. In law, we say that we call it for them to show that they are still a going concern. Going concern here means that they are still in business. Annual returns is paid once in a year, but for a newly incorporated company, such a company is expected to file its first annual returns not later than 18 months after incorporation. What do I mean? A newly incorporated company, for instance, a company incorporated in January 2023, will file its first annual returns after 18 months. What the 18 months here is, January 2023 to January 2024 is 12 months. Then 12 months plus an additional 6 months, which should be at the end of June 2024, a company registered in January 2023 is expected to file its annual returns. Such a company, according to the provisions of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, should file its annual returns within 15 months and not more than the 18 months of incorporation. So, like I said, annual returns is like a dues. For instance, if you're a member of a member of an organization now, you are expected to pay your monthly dues to indicate that you are still a member of that organization, cooperative society, or a club. Annual returns is like a dues. It's something that a professional can go through your business, financial business document, your documents of your company. I mean the documents that shows the income, the turnover, the net income, and the profit that you make within the year. And those some of those details will be entered in the portal of the Corporate Affairs Commission. Recently, on the 31st of July 2023, the Corporate Affairs Commission of the Federal Republic of Nigeria are now in line with Section 425 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, announced its intention to strike off a total of 90,000 registered companies from the register of companies due to their inability to file their annual returns. You heard me clearly. That is to tell you how important an annual returns is. Okay. Now, going further, I would like you guys to know some of the disadvantages of not filing annual returns. First, a company that refuses to file its annual returns to the Corporate Affairs Commission, the status of that company will be inactive. If you search that company from any part of the world on Corporate Affairs Commission portal, it will show that this company is inactive, which implies that that company is no longer in business. And if for instance, if it's a foreigner that wants to engage in a business with you here in Nigeria, and such a foreigner discovers that your company is inactive, they will not believe that your company is still in existence, not minding the fact that you have offices in Lagos and in Abuja. Number two, a company that is inactive will not be accepted at the embassy for visa application. If you are a businessman and you want to travel abroad for a business trip and you want to use the bank statement generated from a company that shows inactive on the Corporate Affairs Commission portal as a sponsor of your business trip, the embassy will not accept that company for visa application, because despite the fact that you have a reasonable amount of money that can sponsor your trip abroad. That is why you see serious businessmen really don't joke with filing of their annual returns. 3. A company that is inactive on the Corporate Affairs Commission portal will be denied certain federal government and state government contracts, because such a company is regarded as an unserious company, especially when foreigners would like to join in that company or collaborate with you to execute such a project. Maybe, for instance, the federal government has concessioned the construction of a railway station from Lagos to Enugu to your company, for instance, Ikemefuna building and construction company, and a Chinese company that wants to collaborate with you discovers that that company is inactive. The federal government cannot proceed with such a contract for either a concession or a public-private partnership. 4. A company that has failed to file its annual returns cannot embark on any post-incorporation matters. Annual returns is known as the linchpin of post-incorporation matters. What do I mean by linchpin? If a company that has failed or has reneged to file its annual returns within the stipulated period of time, cannot engage in post-incorporation matters like change of registered address of the company. For instance, change of registered name. For instance, a company who was answering maybe catch-up media and wants to start answering new media or new trend media. Before you change your name, you must file your annual returns. Similarly, a company that has failed to file its annual returns cannot change directors of that company. Such a company cannot engage in re-registration of company, maybe from a private company to a public company and vice versa. Such a company cannot engage in increase or decrease of share capital. Generally, a company that has failed to file its annual returns cannot engage, cannot cannot be allowed by the Corporate Affairs Commission to engage in post-incorporation matters. From the notice that was published by the Corporate Affairs Commission on the 31st of July, it is expected that those 90,000 companies should file their annual returns within 90 days of the publication, which means those 90,000 companies, is expected to file their annual returns at most within August, September, and October 2023. As from November 1st, 2023, the Corporate Affairs Commission will proceed to strike out the names of those companies from the register of companies. I hope you guys have learned one or two things from this episode of what you need to know about the business name and the company. Okay, the frequently asked question is a business name as expected to pay annual returns? A business name is expected to pay annual returns because a business name must open a bank account. A business name must obtain a tax identification number from the Federal Inland Revenue, and such a business name is expected to pay annual returns. For some persons are of the illusion that a business name does not pay annual returns. No, a business name filed annual returns, and the company filed annual returns, and the company is expected to open a bank account, a corporate account. A business name is expected to open a corporate account, and any of your business transaction with the company should be through your corporate account, so that whenever you want to determine your total turnover within the year and your net income, which are the basic requirements that is expected to file an annual returns, it can be easily ascertained by a chartered accountant who will go through your business document, your business account, to actually ascertain the flow of income, the solvency of your company or business name. See you guys next week as I will be discussing on I will be discussing on what are the prohibited and restricted names for registration with the Corporate Affairs Commission. In our next episode also, I will be discussing on the who can engage in business in Nigeria, and in our subsequent episode as well, I will be also discussing about what a tax identification number is all about. See you guys then. Bye. Cheers.